Hi, this is Geraldine from the Down Syndrome Action Plan, and today is World Down Syndrome Day. I'm happy to be here with all of you who ran and swam and rolled and moved for all the miles that we logged in this first year's challenge for World Down Syndrome Day. And I'm looking forward to some of you uploading some of your expressions that your sons and daughters have put together. This year's theme for Down Syndrome, World Down Syndrome Day was Together Against Loneliness. And I want to start there because that word hits totally different when you're a parent, especially of a child who comes into this world with a diagnosis. Loneliness doesn't just mean being alone. It's that feeling when everything changes and you're trying hard to find your footing in a world that is instantly unfamiliar. For many of us, that began either before or at the birth of our child. And with it, not only the postpartum, all of the new motherhood concerns, but also grief, not because of our child, but because of what we're told to expect, what we're prepared for, and most of all, what we're told we need to let go of. Even when it's said gently, it feels like the future is being quietly rewritten for us and our children. And then we go home and we're holding our beautiful babies and we're trying to reconcile what we just heard with what we feel, what we intuitively know. And for many parents, this is where the loneliness begins. We might go online and start looking for information. We might go to the library. We might go to a trusted doctor or pediatrician. We might even go to clergy. We might go to friends that we used to have so much in common with. And time again, we find what I always called the gap because even though we weren't alone physically, we were alone in what we knew in our hearts. We knew there was more to the story. We started to feel that maybe the way things have always been done wasn't good enough, but where do you turn? What do you do? And that can be a very isolating place to stand. That's exactly the space that the Down Syndrome Action Plan was built from. I don't have all the answers. I honestly wish I did. Honestly, the longer we're on this road, Lucas is now 18, the more questions pop up. I feel like we're constantly pushing back against pre-written narratives and pre-written limitations for him. But that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of being Lucas's mother. That's the beauty of watching this young man grow and become who he's destined to be. DSAP exists to support parents in understanding their child differently. First and foremost, to honor that intuition that lives in all of us, that there's more to the story, that there's more that can be done. We know our children. There's more to them than the reports that come from the therapist and from the IEP teams at school. There's so much more. We need to move beyond that passive acceptance and into the informed, intentional action to take what we know about neurodevelopment, about the brain, and how systems grow and change, and most importantly, all the brilliant research that's going on in all other areas, in autoimmune disorders, in degenerative diagnoses, in neurodevelopmental psychology, all these areas that are blossoming with research that have wonderful things that we can put into the action plans to help our children, not to mention all of the wonderful research happening about the cerebellum, which is so critical for our children. And it's not enough just to find that research. It's not enough just to read it, but we have to make it usable in real life. So bringing those researchers in, bringing the doctors in, bringing the founders in, the authors in who wrote these pieces, who created these protocols, and have a Down syndrome specific conversation with them is one of the primary focuses of DSAP. It's important that these action plans be put together by parents because we're the ones who are doing them in our homes, in our daily routines, and in the moments that actually shape development. But just as important as the information is the connection, because none of us should have to navigate this alone. This is where collaboration becomes so important. I remember in the early days when Lucas was on what felt like a decade-long crawling program. Every single day we would get up and try to find motivation to crawl our meters again. And I had a wonderful friend that I had met on this journey who lived across the world. And she and her son had just gotten done doing it and were going to bed. And she would send me a quick little video of them doing it and saying hi. And we would watch that video in the morning, and then we wanted to do it too. And we would send the video back. It was honestly a lifeline back in those days because, first of all, we were doing all this stuff, this neurodevelopmental stuff, and I didn't really know if it was going to make a difference. So, keeping motivation up, keeping our mindset straight was very important. And when we talk about collaboration, it's not just between parents, but it's between organizations, it's between researchers, it's between communities and people who are all working towards the same goal. Sometimes we are so focused on what we need to do that we fracture off into individual communities. And so there's a Down syndrome community over here who's doing this, and a Down syndrome community over here who's doing this. And we need to be coming together because although not all approaches are right for all of our children, we are all in this together and we are stronger together. Creating better outcomes and more meaningful lives for individuals with Down syndrome take all of us, with all of our expertise, with all of our experience, with all of our questions, with all of our motivations. One of the things that I'm most excited about right now is the collaboration between DSAP and Nita, who is the founder of SourceRight, that is the creator of the Ask tech platform that we've been doing these challenges on, and the work that we're doing together with Ask. Because what Ask represents is another pathway for families to access information, support, and tools in a way that meets them where they are. And when we begin to connect these efforts, when we stop working in silos and start building together, we create something much, much stronger. No one person, no one organization has all the answers, but together we can ask better questions. We can start sharing what we're learning, and we can build systems of support that didn't exist before. And that is how we create an action plan against loneliness and isolation. Not just by being present, not just by being connected amongst ourselves, but by being collaborative, by being willing to build something together, to think outside the box, to dream big, especially in the tech space. If you have ever sat there and thought, geez, with all this technology, wouldn't it be great if? I want you to email me or Nita. Yes, we agree with you. It would be great if, and let's get together building it. At DSAP, it's a core part of our mission, not just to educate, but to connect, not just to offer information, but to create a space where parents feel supported, empowered, and part of something larger. When that shift happens, everything changes. You're no longer navigating in isolation. You're part of a community that sees what you see, that believes what you believe, and that is actively working towards something better. So today, on World Down Syndrome Day, I want to take this with you. If you felt alone in this process, you're not. If you've questioned what you've been told, you're not the only one. And if you felt that there's more possibilities for your child than you're being led to believe, you're not wrong. There is a growing community of parents, professionals, and organizations who are working together to build something different, and you are a part of that. We are not powerless, and we are not alone. We're not limited to what's been handed to us. We can build and learn and connect and collaborate together because we are the plan. I would love it if you came and joined us at the Down Syndrome Action Plan. You can find us on Facebook. It's a private group, so you'll have to ask for admittance. But you can also reach me through dsactionplan.com or directly through Messenger on Facebook. I would love to hear from you, and I would love to add to our community together. I hope you and your family have a wonderful day celebrating our children today, and I look forward to what we build this year.